On the board are the most familiar curves in economics, supply and demand. In this exercise, we're going to see how supply and demand curves can actually demonstrate one of the most powerful ideas in economics, that allocative efficiency, the correct quantity of a product, can be achieved without any government intervention. The demand curve for a product shows how much consumers are willing to buy at different prices. What it actually demonstrates is the benefit to the individual from the consumption of the last tuna fish. We call this the marginal private benefit. In the absence of any consumption externalities, the private benefit to the individual is the same as the benefit to society. A demand curve slows down because the marginal benefit or marginal utility falls as we consume more of something. A product is not costless to manufacture, and when we fish tuna out of the sea, we have also a marginal private cost. Fishermen will undertake to catch tuna as long as their marginal private cost is covered by at least the price. In the same way that the private citizen is part of society, the private firm is also part of society. And so, in the absence of production externalities, the marginal private cost is the same as the marginal social cost. When consumers consume tuna, their total benefit must be the addition of all their individual marginal benefits. Thus, if the market goes to equilibrium, which is when there is no force for change, supply and demand curves intersect, we can see the total benefit to society. This must be the addition of all the marginal benefits. And thus, area ABC will be the total social benefit from the consumption of the equilibrium quantity of tuna fish. If we pay price P for that quantity, the expenditure on quantity Q star of tuna fish must be P times Q. This, of course, must be area BC and thus represents total expenditure. Consumers then receive more benefit by amount A than they actually pay for amount BC. Thus, area A, of course, we know as consumer surplus, and consumer surplus can indeed be defined as the difference between the total benefit from consumption and the total expenditure in order to get that consumption. Suppliers make the tuna fish as long as the price covers the cost of manufacture. Thus, if this is the marginal cost, then area C must represent the addition of all those marginal costs. In other words, total cost of production. Since total expenditure on the tuna fish is above the total cost of production, then firms make a profit or produce a surplus when consumption and production are at the equilibrium level of Q star. In this diagram, we are assuming no government, and thus society comprises consumers and producers. The cost to society of making the tuna fish, area C, and the benefit to society is area ABC. Thus, the net benefit, the amount by which society gains from the production and consumption of tuna fish, is area AB, also known as social surplus, in some cases welfare. If we were to produce less fish than Q star, for example Q1, we would miss out some of that area AB. This is sometimes called a welfare or a dead weight loss, and reasons for such underproduction might be a tax on tuna fish, for example. If we overconsume tuna fish, then we get area AB as social surplus, but unfortunately we would have what would be called a social deficit if we did name that area. Thus, leaving this market to its own devices results in an equilibrium quantity, no force for change, of Q star, and that happens to be also the allocatively efficient quantity of G.